What up? What up? Episode 5. Live with Ep.05. Here we go again, people. We back. Last week we had a good time, We were talking entrepreneurship. We were talking becoming a boss. We was talking boss talk last week, and that's what this is all about. This is about all my dope friends that just changing the world, changing their neighborhood, changing their families' lives, and I just want to talk to my dope friends. There might be some episodes that I talk to my hood friends. Man, we talk about the hood and we talk about when we was growing up together, and it don't always got to be about owning something or being a boss, or it's good to motivate people, but sometimes we just gonna talk about the hood. But that was last week with Atlanta, episode 4. This week, episode 5. We got my brother. I've known him for a lot of years. Good dude. I call him Gaby, but I don't know. Just Sosa feels better. So he called himself Sosa. We're going to get into that. I don't know where that came from. Might be Scarface. Might be something else. But, we're going to get into that. I'm going to bring him on in a minute. But I just want to, talk about his journey and, how we met. And, it's going to be dope. So let me see if I can find him. I don't know if he's here yet. Where you at, bro? Where you at, bro? Nope, he's not here. He's not here. He's coming. But, yeah, people, episode, I keep forgetting what episode it is. See, that's how you know you've been doing it for a while, you know what I mean? I've been doing it for about 5 weeks, so I'm so excited, man. 5 weeks, baby, 5 weeks. And this is not bad. Oh, there he goes. This is not bad for an idea that I came up with, like, last minute. I just said, hey, I'm going to do this. And now, hey, we 5 weeks in, baby. Let me get a sauce out in here. That's what you got to do, people. You get an idea, just do it. What's the worst that can happen? No, it fails. So what? Try something else next week. But yeah. Yo, the beard. The beard is serious. I haven't seen my bro. I haven't seen my bro in a while in real life. I think the last time I seen you was last year. You and Peck was smoking on a big cigar, sure. Having a good time, watching the game or whatever. How you been, brother?
Oh yeah.
Cheers.
I'm good, bro. How you doing, man? Hey, good to see you.
That's all right.
I'm on water.
You probably on duty,
right
but yo, I'm just want to let you know. Thank you for doing this. You the first friends that I called, and you just said yes. Like, you didn't hesitate. You did say. Let me check my schedule, because I know you're busy. I know you're a big dog now, but thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man. Because you didn't have to do this. I know your time is valuable, so I just want to let you know I appreciate you.
Nah, bro. Thank you for having me, bro. I appreciate it, man. You ain't the first one to ask me, but again, with work and the schedule and everything, it's kind of hard to do. And then, depending on where I'm at and who I'm with, there's certain things I can and cannot do, like we discussed or whatnot. But again, man, it's a pleasure to have me on here, bro. Like, it's a good thing what you're doing, and I hope you get a whole lot of more people, and it just inspires a whole lot of more people to do it. It goes forward from there, bro. For real, man. I'm happy you're doing
I'm just doing this for I don't care about the money. Like, we don't need money. Like, I'm not a money. I just want to talk to my friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, all the interviews I have set up, they're all my friends. And don't get me wrong. In the future, I don't mind talking to strangers. I don't mind talking to my friends' friends. I don't mind if you call me and be like, yo, somebody saw an interview and they just want to kick it with you. Because don't get me wrong, this is easier because we have a relationship, and all my guests that I had in the past, my daughter, my brother, it's obviously easier. But maybe I need to challenge myself, later on down the road and interview someone I don't know. I have to do my research. But but thank you again, brother. So, let's get into it. We're gonna start with the basics. Where'd you grow up? New York, where you family, siblings, regular degular.
Going from the beginning, man. Like, I was born up in El Barrio, Spanish Harlem, as everybody knows it nowadays. So 117 between 2nd and 3rd on the east side, you know, New York. Was born there, lived there for a couple of years while I was younger, and then moved over to the west side of Harlem. 143rd, you know, 310. All my brothers that are joining in right now. Miss them for sure. Got to going from there, man. Moved out to Queens maybe 6 or 7 years into my late 20s, and then
Yeah, yeah.
moved out to Florida now, where you see me now,
We're
man,
gonna get into
for the
that.
last 2 months, bro. So I'm loving it out here, man. Like, I love New York, born and raised, but man, this if I could have did this 10 years ago, man, I think
No. That's a
I'd have been
blessing,
all
bro.
right.
I remember when you put it on your I think it was your IG, and you was like you started to do like a little countdown or whatever. You was like, you know, I'm packing, and so you was doing step by steps. And then when you like made the move, I was like, I was proud of you. You know, was that for any reason or like taxes or something? Like why'd you do that?
No, so again, man, we're all born and raised in New York, and we love where we come from. But sometimes you need a change, man. I think COVID woke up everybody, man, and just seeing the different things that were going on, and just the people that we were losing, bro. You know what I mean? And it happened so rapidly and lasted for so long that you kind of just needed to take yourself out of that environment and almost reset your mind. You know what I mean? So just got things together, man. Took the L on a couple of things. You know, you always want things when you working. You want to buy things. So ended up just, man, just saving. Next thing you know, finding out I just got enough money to put a down payment and start looking around. And then with the type of job I do and the business I own, man, I can live anywhere, you know, and that's a blessing from God that I'm able to do that. So got down to Florida, got some family and friends here. The market was kind of good and kind of just looked for what I
Really?
wanted and then just said, man, the hell with it. Just go with it and take the chance. And just did it, bro. I did it. I'm happy, man. I come home. This is my home, man. As you can see, that's my pool in the back. You're not getting that in the ghetto. You're not getting that in the ghetto, man. So it's like, it's a big change. It's a big change for almost the same amount of rent, you know? And it's almost disgusting, man. Like, I'm paying $200 more than my rent, and I got this big old house. I get to sit in, just hang out, and just
Yeah, I
enjoy the
love it,
breeze,
man. I
kicking the
love it.
shit
I
with you
love it.
right now. So,
I do
hey, man,
remember you had
I'm
a
loving it.
tragedy, you know, several years back. There was a fire in your building or whatever, and you know that really touched me because you know that's you know, imagine you know you coming home every day and grabbing a beer and whatever, and then you lose, you know, and then you know you came back from it, but still I remember you know when that happened to you, you know what was that like?
It was hard, bro. I say I've been through a lot. You know, we've all been through a lot growing up or whatnot. But that was kind of the first time I ever felt like I was homeless. You know what I mean? You know, when it's one thing when you get to open the doorknob to your house every day, bro, and then next thing you know, that's just taken away from you, and you're just like shit, and you're still paying rent, but it's like fire department tells you like, hey man, you can't go in. Like we don't know. We can tell you when you can go in, and it kind of was a little downhill from that, man, because you know I got dogs and stuff, so hotels don't take dogs. You know, people want you to surrender your dogs, and you kind of go through that emotion because I don't have kids. You know, my dogs are my kids, so not having them with me is like would be bad, and not being able to get in my place, man. Not being able to get in your place of peace,
Yo,
man, and
that's
not
real,
knowing
man.
when
It's
you'll be
real
able to get
because
back. And
yep.
so three and a half weeks, man. I slept on the floor. You know, my dogs. We ate, we drank, we had food. You know, thank God, like I had just put the laundry in. I was a little bougie, kind of dropping my laundry off. So I still had I had a laundry bag. Thank God, man. But good looking out to like Primo, man. Stayed in his house, stayed on the floor with my boys, took good care of us, man. We fed, we ate, man, and it was hard. I never put that on anybody, man. It's hard not being able to go to your own home, what you work hard to be in, and it was humbling at the same time, bro. But it definitely hurt, man. It was definitely a
That
difficult
happened
time.
to
That was
my
a long
boy a
3
couple of
weeks,
months
man.
ago. You know, he lives on Castle Hill. There was a fire on Castle Hill in Story. The fire was next to his house, but he caught the smoke and the whatever. So that happened to him. And you know, my boss in my job, you know, they came up with some gift cards and then. But yeah, I've never been in that situation. Like right now, like I call this my interview room, but technically it's my room. But you know, but like yo, if you take this away from me, bro, I would be sick right now. And I don't care if one of my homies or somebody was to tell me, yo, come to my house. I'll be like, I don't want to go. This is my house. So, you know, like I said, bro, thank you. I'm glad you came back from that. But it made you stronger. So let's talk about how we met. So
Definitely
I don't
did,
know
man.
if you know this. Obviously, we met through softball, but the way I met you was from afar because I didn't want to approach you because whoever don't know this guy, he's a big dude. He's not, how big are you? 6 what? 6'4", 350. So we
6'4",
talking about almost
350.
15, 20 years ago, right? So he was probably 6'4", 250, whatever. He was still big.
Yeah, 220,
I was
220.
like,
Give me the
I'm
220.
5'8",
I was a little
140,
skinny.
right? So I kind of stood away from him because he was very intimidating. And I'm gonna tell you why. And I don't know. I know you remember this, so I'm gonna blow you up. And I know everyone that's watching think he's a nice guy. This guy was very, very mean to umpires. And I was like, yo. And I just thought the first time I saw you spaz on an umpire, I told my cousin Jay, I'm like, yo, what's wrong? Like, what's wrong with this dude? He was like, I don't know. Like, he's just like that. So that was 1 week. Then 3 weeks passed. Every week you was spazzing on umpires. You was getting banned from leagues. And I'm like, yo, I understand they make bad calls, but how the fuck is this nigga so angry at umpires every week? So what was that about?
You know what it was, man. And don't get me wrong. Like now that I grew up about it, I respect umpires and all that shit, man. But bro, it was like for me, I'm like, man, I'm like paying you to be here. Like I gotta get my $5 and my $10, and you over here making bullshit calls, costing us games and shit. So it's like, hey, that gets frustrating. Hey, man, we all compete. You know what I'm saying? Whether we going to play for fun or play for family, like we still driving there. We're still paying tolls. We paying gas. We paying beers. Whatever it is to be there, like, man, shit, we're paying you too, bro. Like, for you to make some sour ass calls and then not give a shit about it. I was young, but man, I gave a shit though.
Yo.
Like, I think it was the competitive me and me.
Yo, that
like,
shit.
I was like, hey, man, like, you got to give a shit a little bit, and don't
Yo,
give me a smart ass
after,
remark either.
after a
Like,
while,
I'm paying you for
after a
this.
while,
Like,
I
you're
was
not
just
paying
waiting
me
for
to
you to
be here.
spaz out. Like, I remember one time we joined the bar league in Amsterdam, and you spazzed again, and I think they banned you for life or some shit. I'm like, yo, this nigga, and I don't know who was next to me. I'm like, what does that mean? It was like, he's banned for life. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Man, I found out from Park Avenue that was a thing. But yeah, man, that was just another awkward situation that carried on that in the beginning had nothing to do with me, man. And like since I was the aggressor on my team and I was kind of sticking up for my team, like the umpire just kept coming my way. So I took the suspension that the league gave, but it was kind of one of those leagues you remember where you're suspended, but you kind of got to show up and show face in order to like still get the games or whatever. So I did that. The umpire went at me again, man, and I think Tor Sam was there, and man, it went from there.
It was awesome.
Took a left, took a right, and
watch it from
we all
afar.
scrapping on the floor. So
it was amazing. But so let's talk about softball for a minute. So what got like from the beginning? Because with me, the way I got into softball, because I started in the streets playing in the park. Before I got into like a real league and show up on time and like. I was playing on Starlight. I don't know if you remember by the Sheridan. It's not there no more. But there was 2 leagues there. There was Roberto Clemente was on the grass, and then in the cement league there was like a cement field into the corner by the bridge, and that's why I first even seen Big Sam and Lefty and Foster and them. And they was just having fun, but they was just disrespecting everybody. It was just like boom, bang, boom, boom. And I'm like, dang, who are these niggas? So what was your introduction to like a real like league, but like before the EMS and Nicole and Roberto Clemente and all like where were your roots with the game?
But pretty much EMS is where it started at, man, because like right from coming home from baseball and just playing independent and things like that, I was still young. I was 16, 17 coming home, and EMS, was on 145th, and I lived on 143rd. So some of the neighborhood guys that were there, man, I had came home one day with all my bags and shit, and they had like a little neighborhood team. They're like, "Hey man, we're going to play softball at the block. Just come, G." I was like, "Oh man, fuck it, let's go, man. Let's go have a little fun, whatever." I feel like I needed a break anyway. Ended up being the EMS league. Didn't even know. Sitting there playing with my boys from my neighborhood, and kind of going from there and just playing, man, is where people started to see me and were like, where the hell you from? Because everybody all of a sudden think I'm from the Bronx, but I'm not. Like, I'm from Harlem.
Yeah.
And there's a few of us left. But that's where it kind of kicked off at. And then, EMS was everywhere. It was in Pelham. It was in Harris back then. The dude had 140-something teams on the NCAA bracket. So from there, it kind of just branched out, playing in Randall's Island, playing in Brooklyn, going upstate. Then the tournament things, it started going back and forth from there. So kind of like softball just really started at EMS, man, playing Caquito days, man, Clemente Pirates days, the Phillies with Jose and them, Papapo, and kind of just went from there, man. And then it was similar to baseball, man. You competing, you playing 5 to 6 days a week, you tired. You got to do the same things you got to do for baseball, recover and everything, and keep playing, bro. But it was fun,
I remember.
It was fun. I enjoyed it.
I definitely remember those days. It was, I think you did a little co-ed or not really?
I did a little bit of co-ed because that was more like who I started playing with in co-ed, man. I did start playing with Nicole and them in co-ed at ADW when I was younger because it kind of led to like the men's teams that were playing. They were kind of doing a co-ed thing. Kind of like, back in the day, like when Pelham was going on Saturdays and then Sundays, we were kind of doing that for warm-ups and like play to have fun and get in the groove, get the swings in, you know what I'm saying? Now, hey, co-ed is more competitive now, more than ever. Great teams, great females playing, great body of dudes just running teams.
I got something coming for that league. I got something coming. I definitely got a good interview coming from that side.
Bringing it back?
So also, you and Henry, I don't know who was running the team, but I just remember you and Henry. What was that team that y'all kept like with the rings? What's the name of that team? Caballo, yeah. So
that team was the Caballos, man.
What was that about?
So that, believe it or not, man, that team is old, bro. So that's Henry's father's team.
I knew there was something.
So Henry's father's team started that team. Yeah, he started that team, I think, like 80s or 90s or something like that. They were called the Caballos and they were called the Horses. And then Henry's cousin, like you see Jerry put in CDA, that's one of them right there. So CDA stands for crack that ass, is what we turned it into afterwards. But, Henry's dad started that team like in the 80s and 90s, man. Moved over into the Caballos and the Horses, playing all around the Bronx and whatnot. Henry's cousin, Anthony, took it over for a little bit. Then Henry took it over, and then I asked Henry for his blessing, obviously, to move the team to kind of keep the name running. And it's a very family-oriented team, man. All the guys are hand-selected. Believe it or not, it's kind of like almost a major leagues, bro, because it's like me and Henry actually sat down, went through everybody's roster, like hand-picked guys, handmade phone calls, you know what I'm saying? And you can only get 15 guys. So we had to narrow it down and kind of go from family to close friends and then ball players. But we ended up being successful in the league, winning 3 times in a row.
I saw you
getting some rings, keeping the name going.
The rings was like fucking real. I'm like, these niggas ain't playing games with these rings. I'm like,
the rings are legit, bro. They ain't got real diamonds, but legit.
Not to down the moment, but we lost I know. Let me first, before we talk about Chris, I know Chris from my neighborhood because I got a friend, Jerry and Sonia. I think don't quote me. I think his mom was related to either Jerry or Sonia, and they lived on Vice and on Freeman Street. That's how I know Chris. So when I started getting into softball, he was always around, and I'm like, but he was young, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck? But not to be disrespectful to him. In my eyes, he wasn't like a fucking ball player. But what I saw was the respect that he got from you guys. I'm like, yo, is he taking a book? Is he a mascot? Like, what was it about Chris that Lefty loved him? You loved him. Like real motherfuckers loved this kid. And Foster, he was hanging out with Foster for like 5 summers. And I'm like, yo, why is this kid around? Because like I said, I don't mean no disrespect. He wasn't he wasn't hitting bombs, but he had something, and that's why I'm gonna give it over to you now. What was it about Chris? Let him sleep in peace, and God bless him. What was it about this kid that was so special?
Chris was everything, bro. He completed your team. You know what I mean? And that's anywhere on the field and off the field, bro. Like, we've known him since he was a kid through his dad, you know, even in that bar league that we were talking about earlier, you know, that I ended up fighting in and getting banned from. But, you know, Johnny was six-pack back in the day, and Chris was always around, and that's kind of how we met him, and it started going. But as Chris got older, Chris, like, as young as he was kind of like the uncle, the daddy of the teams, bro. He took care of everybody, looked out for everybody, gave a shit about everybody. You know what I'm saying? And he's the guy, man, kind of like in the MLB, you get a bench coach that sits there and kind of mentors you. Even though you're older than him, he can kind of mentor you during the game and keep your head on straight. You know what I mean? And, again, he was a blessing from God, bro, and we all loved him and we all miss him dearly. And, again, he completed a lot of us when it came to playing softball and being out on the weekends, you know, and getting through the games, especially the playoffs and the championship, man. And believe it or not, man, we actually had him in the lineup a couple of times.
No. But
he wasn't bad,
but
bro.
My thing,
he could hit.
No. But my thing
No
was
bombs,
that I could
hit.
tell that it was deeper than being in, like, he wasn't like, I'm telling you, bro. For lefty, and we're talking about lefty here. For lefty to respect you and for lefty even to have a conversation with you, he has to fucking like you, because lefty don't talk to nobody if he ain't fucking with you. So I saw him under lefty's wing, and I saw Foster with him, and I saw Henry and you, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck is it about this kid? You know what I'm saying? Because I knew him from the hood. You know what I'm saying? He was like, he wasn't no softball player to me. He was little Chris. But like you said, if he had that type of impact on you guys, you can tell that he was a blessing from God, for sure.
Yeah, and then to lefty Henry, man, Foster, Sam, the list can go on, man, with all those veteran guys that have been in the softball game for so long. You know them. You know, for them, like, he was kind of like the son they didn't have, you know what I'm saying? He was on everybody's team, willing to play with anybody, be around anybody, hang out with everybody, show love and support to everybody, you know, and that's kind of one of those guys, man, that he fits in the room, you know what I'm saying? It don't matter where he goes or whatnot. He fits in the room, and he'll mingle with anybody and just keep you up, bro. So it definitely sucks, man, that he got to go. And I wear his chain every day. I have a picture of him on me every day, and I wear it. Yeah, man. But, again, we miss him. I saw him the other day. I passed by his grave before I stopped by New York. I always leave him a cigar, you know. But, yeah, man, it's unfortunate what happened, and we miss him dearly. And now, because of it, you know, the Caballos turned into CR5, which is another good softball team, winning championships, extending the family name, and taking it from there. Hopefully we get him down to some tournaments this year in Florida,
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing,
keep
man.
the name alive, you know, for him and his family.
You just mentioned cigars, and that was gonna be my next bullet point. My next topic was actually smoking a goddamn cigar right now. And I remember many a time you would send me invites. I never made it. I apologize. Many a times you'd be like, yo, you know, the boxing, you know, just come chill with me. And, you know, when you live in a Boston, a Brooklyn or Queens person invites you, you're kind of like, I don't know, I don't want to go over there. I swear to God, bro. Yo, Brooklyn and Queens to me is like, fucking, that shit might as well be Florida. I just hate the BQE. I hate everything about fucking getting on the highway. And I know I'm going to get fucked up. So then, you know, at the time I was with Marcy, you know, and she was like, what time you getting home? You know how that goes. So, no, let's break down and get into the cigar love. Let's start from the beginning. Who the hell gave you your first cigar?
And I could, you know what, man? I think it went from, I was never a cigarette fan, bro. I did like the Black and Mouse. I started there, man, and I kind of just hanging out with my brother, man. Like, it went from chewing tobacco, letting tobacco go, to just smoking Black and Miles, and we thought it was a cool thing. You know, some kids in the 80s, and 70s, and 80s with cigarettes. You know, our thing with Black and Miles, you know what I'm saying? And it started from there, man. Then got into a couple of flavor cigars, and the next thing you know, I'm going to this cigar shop, that cigar shop. I'm like, shit, I want to get me a humidor. I got more cigars. I start going to cigar events, and I'm like, man, I can actually get into this thing, you know? And then kind of just starting your own business, bro. You see all these guys out here having cigars, making business meetings, networking, you know what I'm saying? And it's like the calm, cool, relaxed life. And it's like something to kick back with, you know what I mean? So even now, just talking to you, chopping it up, my brother, right now, having a cigar with a little orange Gina, you know what I'm saying? Taking the breeze in Florida, man. It's a beautiful thing, man. It's just relaxing. I ain't addicted. I can have 1, 2, 3 a day, and
That's
then I'm gonna
beautiful.
have one for
That's
a month,
beautiful.
you know. But it's relaxing, bro. Like, why not? You know what I'm saying? We only gonna live once. I tried everything else. I ain't like it. I got this cigar. I was like, hey, maybe I like this. You know, different flavors, different parts of the country, different shops, man, different atmospheres, bro. Like, even state to state, man. You walk into a cigar shop and you kind of get that same home welcoming when you walk in. It's the same atmosphere almost. Hey, how you doing? What do you like to smoke? What do you want to drink? A matter of fact, grab a cigar. Your drink is on me. You know, and that's kind of welcoming, man. That's kind of humbling, you know, with everything going on in the world, for people just to invite somebody that they don't know in their cigar shop like that. And for me, it's a beautiful thing, man. And I take it all in and I soak it in and get to network with them
That
people,
shit could
talk with them
create,
people, you know,
especially in
see
like
what
what you're
they're
doing
going
now
through in
with your
life.
own business and everything. That could be a potential client. You know what I'm saying? Just smoking a cigar, I'd be like, oh, what you into? Oh, I'm into this. Oh, what you into? Oh, I'm into this. Oh, you want to work together? Hell yeah, let's do it. So it's definitely an icebreaker. It's definitely an icebreaker for sure.
Yeah. It is, man. You know, and those conversations happen all the time, bro. Like, even from, like, they trying to get me into getting into golf right now. That's be another thing, like cigars. Having cigars, kicking in with some golf, trying to hit the shit. But yeah, man, small little lounge. You never know who you're gonna meet, or even at an airport, smoking area, something like that. Having a nice cigar, having conversation, man. That's what it's about.
I tell you one
And
thing.
then
Just mentioned
making it
Becca's
happen,
earlier,
bro.
right? And I remember to work. I was working in Chase,
Yeah.
right on the corner of Lafayette, and I'm coming, and I'm walking down the hill, and you and Becca are smoking a cigar, and just watching y'all from 50 feet away, as I'm approaching y'all motherfuckers look like y'all was in cigar world. It was I can't explain the vibe and the aura that both of you. I don't even know if y'all was talking to each other. It was just you puffing. You
I don't
Yo, it
think we
was
were.
like you puffing, he was puffing, and then you said some shit like, yeah, next week I gotta go fly to LA. And I'm like, yo, where the fuck am I right now? Like, this is mad calm. And I didn't understand it. But now that the way you explain it, I kind of get it, because the cigar puts you in a different place. And then I was like, and then I just chimed in, and I was like, what are you going over there? You was like, oh, I gotta go to a meeting or whatever. And then I don't know what Becca starts talking about Roscoe's or some shit. And then y'all start talking about Roscoe's, and I'm like, yo, the fucking cigar started this whole shit right here. That was, I remember, that was last year. I remember that shit perfect. Like the cigar vibe just had both of you in this drifting away into the fucking world of whatever.
Yeah, like, he usually smokes a lot of Cubans or whatnot. I told him, man, I said, hey, I got these good Dominican cigars that you're not even gonna know they're Dominican until I tell you. And he tried it out. He's like, shit, man, this is actually really good. And I'm just like, hey, man, cigars come from all over the place and they grow from all over the place. It's just, everybody, when they think of cigars, they think of Cubans, man. But it's like, Cubans these days, man, the quality of them is so down, man, because the quantity of them is so high. So right now, with the Dominican tobacco aging as well as it is, and
Yo,
even the
yo, yo, yo,
Honduran
yo,
tobacco,
I
man,
want you to
it's his
keep
own
going.
aura, like you said,
Kick the
man.
knowledge, baby. Scoop. Whoever don't know, let's let them know, baby. Just school them, because I don't know. What I usually do with cigars is it's usually a vacation thing. Like when I'm in DR, I was in Hard Rock, the Hard Rock Cafe hotel in Punta Cana, and they had like a whole cigar room, and I went in there, and I just picked the most. I'm like, how much is that? $20. Let me get that one, because I'm not gonna buy a $5 cigar. I'm like, nah. I'm like, you know what? If it costs 20 and better, it must mean something. I don't know. So, and then when I go to my cousin,
No, definitely, man. And even here, right here, look, I got two with me right now. I got Iroa, which is one of my favorite cigars, man. A Dominican-based cigar with a Connecticut wrapper. Same here with AJ Fernandez. People go by the color. You see how like this one's darker and this one's lighter. They be like, oh no, this one's strong. This one, no, man, this was in the tobacco. There's 3 different leaves that make a tobacco, that make a cigar. You know, then it's the wrapper. You know what I'm saying? When you go to cigar events and all that, you see them finishing. They're wrapping the cigar. So that's what you see. They're not rolling the cigar. The cigar's already rolled.
Kick the knowledge,
You know, they're
baby.
wrapping
Kick
it
the
for you for the
knowledge. I love
presentation,
it.
for the
I love
theme.
it.
You know, so that way you get the experience of, you know, you get to smoke a nice cigar smoke, man, with a beautiful drink and a nice atmosphere like this breeze right now
Whoa,
outside,
whoa,
man.
whoa. My
It's
boy,
almost everything.
Henry
It puts
just
you at
joined. We
ease, you
was
know what
just
I'm
talking
saying?
about you,
And,
baby. We was just talking about you. That's
Eggs,
beautiful,
what's up,
man. But
Eggs?
you know, I'm definitely impressed with your cigar knowledge because you know you definitely want to. When it comes to cigars, you, Pecas, my cousin Eric, and I think that's about it. That like when I see them, I already know the cigar is somewhere around because you three
Yeah.
are like I just saw Pecas 2 weeks ago for the tournament that AEW had for for our fallen friends. Yeah, Fallen Angels, and you know, Pecas was there.
Fallen
You know, he
Angels.
was
Yeah,
smoking a
yeah, I saw
cigar.
that.
You know, and I was kicking it with him or whatever. But another love that I know, and I know you love is your Harley. Where did that come from?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I never saw you on a bike until I saw you on the bike.
Yo, like that was a complete accident, bro. Complete accident. Living in Queens, man, doing the private security, we ended up having an event that was gonna go on for a couple of months during the summer in Brooklyn by the pier. And I'm like, shit, man, am I really gonna take the train into the city and come all the way around to Brooklyn and take this 45 minutes rather than just kind of getting a scooter? Like at first I was like, oh, I'm gonna just get a scooter, get on the BQE, and I'm gonna just pimp it out. But I was like, man, I'm too fat for a damn scooter, bro. So that ain't gonna work out. So I ended up, man, just going to Harley, looking at a couple of bikes, finding out I need a motorcycle license, going and taking a class, and just buying a Harley that kind of sat with me and helped me out for the whole summer. And it turned into like its own thing, man. I ended up quitting softball because of it, because I ended up just like taking off every weekend rather than going to a park that I've been going to every 10, 15 years, bro. We ended up riding to DC, riding
Wow,
upstate,
and
going to
you know what?
Connecticut
And
for some barbecue or
this
seafood.
is why I'm doing this to talk to my friends and find out was. I did not know that was that was the end of softball because you found another love to get you out of the park and around the same old bullshit.
I did, man, and you know it just as well as I do, man. How much bullshit was going around the softball thing around those times, and just it went from a competitive thing to a personal thing, and not something you want to be around, man. When you work Monday through Friday, you bust your ass for work, dealing with your kids or dealing with your family, and then Saturday, Sunday's kind of like your days off, and you just want to be in the park, have some drink with your friends, and play with your friends, and not go there and fight, man. You know, and I was kind of done with that. And for me, man, getting on the bike and just kind of going to a new state and a new area kind of opened my eyes to, man, there's a lot more things outside of softball. There's a lot more things outside in life. And shit, man, I went from seeing grass and trees to seeing mountains, seeing different sunlights,
My
different fucking sunsets, bro. And
no,
it kind of was one of those moves that just it set me up to where I'm at today, man. Just opened my eyes to that there's more outside of New York and
no,
to
but
where you're living at and where you're
and that's
brought
what
up at. You
since
know what I
you
mean?
said about what ended my softball love was I started running and the same thing. Like I was doing Spartan races, and Spartan race took me upstate New York, and then the Spartan race took me to New Jersey, and then the Spartan race took me to Pennsylvania, because as you get better, you run 3 miles and you run 3 miles 5 times, or you run 3 miles 10 times. Now your heart is like, nah, we need more. So I started challenging myself, and the
Yeah,
bigger
do
the
more.
mountain, the deeper you had to get into the away from New York, because like I think I don't remember the name of the New York. I don't remember, but I know it was a mountain, and then the next challenge.
Uh,
No,
Bear
it might have
Mountain?
been Bay Mountain, but I know that it wasn't big enough, so they took it to like PA. So then when I got to PA, that's when we start hitting the ski slope mountains, like double black diamonds, and so for those that don't know what a double black diamond is, it's pretty much a very steep mountain for skiing. But in the off season, they use these mountains for people who can hike. So the Spartan people started like, oh shit, the ski guys go down, and when it's cold and with their skis, we're gonna make these motherfuckers climb this shit up. So that's what started. My love for running and competing with myself, because I'm not super fast. So, but I remember I joined a couple of teams, and I would be like, yo, I can't play this weekend because I got a race next week, and I don't want to twist my ankle, or I don't want to pull a hamstring, because like the goals changed. And don't get me wrong, I know you don't regret it. I don't regret my love for softball, my years all the like I know you through softball. So for me to say I regret that would be saying I regret your friendship and the hundreds of friendships that I got. Like, bro, I was in the park, like I said, when with the Fallen Angels, and someone asked me, am I still playing? And I'm like, I don't have to play. And the reason why I don't have to play is because what I took out of, and now that I'm older and I'm wiser, what I appreciate now is the fact that I could walk into that park and people know who I am. And I know who they are. And we know that we love each other. We know that we know each other for 10, 15, 20 years, whatever it is. I don't have to play. I'm getting the best part out of it, which is all the friendships. You know what I'm saying? I saw Nicole. Yeah, and
that was the goal in the
beginning. I gave
beginning.
Nicole a big hug, and I don't give a shit what people say about Nicole. She changed. Even though, and I remember back in the days, the bullshit. This is what they would say: the bullshit league. That league started to pay out more than the fucking EMS league. You know what I'm saying? So with her bullshit league, she's changed the fucking payouts. She changed the competition. Because don't get me wrong, Koei was more family, he. When the big names started realizing how much he pays, they were like, whoa, wait a minute. Let's go see what's going on over there. Let's go pick up the best. Yo, they started getting the best girls.
You're right, bro. Because she is the one paying out. She's the one that's pretty much had the same league on for so many years, only paying out more and more. You got competitive teams in there. You even got competitive players in there. You got guys that played overseas baseball, overseas softball, are now playing co-ed. So it's like she doing something right. You know what I mean? And every league has its own rules, man. They have their own vibe.
No, but I
definitely love their own parks. So for her to have that league as long as she had it, man, it's a blessing. It's like we all grew up in that league. You could say too, man. She's known a bunch of us since we kids, and now we're all grown-ass men, and she's still showing us the same love, man, So you could do nothing but appreciate that. And I always love Nicole, and I always say hi to her and everything. And we talk about life and family and all that. And it's amazing to go back, and see everybody in the park, say what's up, man, take a little tour of the park. That's what I do. Everybody know. I walk to the park, I say what's up one time.
No, but it's a beautiful thing, bro. It's a beautiful thing. So let's talk about you mentioned when you were doing the security and you had to get a bike and all that. So what was, and I want to start with the start of everything, the start of softball. I want to now get into what started, besides you being 6'4", but what started your first interaction, job, whatever, with security. How did that?
So it's kind of like going back to the same story of just getting back home from playing baseball on the road. Kind of needed to work, man. Wasn't no time for school. There wasn't no time to bullshit. And being a big guy, how I was at 17, it was like, hey, man, you know how to throw your hands, get in the club. You know what I'm saying? They're looking for guys in the club to shut it down and, hold it down and run doors and search people and this, that, and the other. And for me, getting into the security game, man, all started in the club. With a small company downtown, man. And I was blessed, man, because I got to meet some beautiful dudes, some real OGs that have been around for a very long time through the 60s and 70s and the heart of the 80s in the club, you know, and I got to learn a lot from them. The same thing in life, man, just being around some of the softball guys, learning from them how things worked back in the days till now, and getting through in the security world. It is hard, man. You step through your stools and you step through your neighborhoods and things like that. You know, every club, every bar, every lounge is different. And thank God I got through it. Thank God my teams always got through it. You know, we had to do a lot of banging, a lot of fighting and everything, but it made you smarter, man. Definitely your street smarts kicked in, but it kind of like times it by two, you know, to humble yourself and
protect your jaw.
Oh, yeah, that too. Protect your jaw, protect your life, man. Because the streets were the streets, man. They're always gonna be the streets, and the streets want to go out at night. So it was humbling, man, to get that kind of experience at such a young age, and by 25, man, to be a veteran in the club is kind of shit. Really? So you teaching the younger guys or some older guys that are just getting in the game to make some extra money, man. I thank God for the opportunity, bro, because again, it kept me alive and made me smarter. Even to this day, I use some of those same tools that I had in the club to get by. And again, man, grateful to them OGs that taught me along the way. And even today, man, I bump into them and they tell me how proud they are of me and where I come from and where I started to now. You know, some of those guys are still in the club, man. And so I'm sitting here. I own my own company, you know, running my own business. I don't work for anybody. I have my own clients, you know, and I'm able to give other guys that opportunity, man, to make some money, do what they love, and travel the world, man. And
that's a beautiful
I'm grateful
thing.
for it all.
You mentioned some of your first gigs. Obviously the clubs. There's some things we can't talk about because contracts and you know privacy and stuff. But what are some of your fun gigs that you can mention that you know that it was a blessing that you're in this business?
Man, so like even some things at the club, man, you know, doing weddings, doing private events, you know, doing those secret space events that you only hear about if you're only invited to, you know what I'm saying? Jobs on boats, you know, and going from there, man, and networking, you get to get out more. You get to travel more. Man, different places, different houses, different neighborhoods,
what took
different
you out
towns.
of the club? Like, what took you out of the club for you to get?
So what took me out of the club was really getting along with some of the OGs that I had that were working with me, and they were kind of moving on and wanted to push forward and getting tired of the club. Ended up joining another small company out of New York, and they ended up getting a big contract with a athletic company. So I joined up with them, kind of switched it up, got out the club. It led into more events and more spaces, a lot more traveling. A lot more higher clientele. So that kind of got me like out of the ghetto into like corporate. The new life and opened my eyes of like.
I remember you
definitely more corporate. Something that that one used to.
I don't know if it was the Dyke League or Nike League, but you were always around like those kind of events like Nike and Dykeman and whatever. Street basketball was a big thing. Street basketball was a big thing in the early 2000s, and there was a bunch of us that were dealing with other corporate companies that we were able to obtain those contracts, you know, with the smaller company that we were with and kind of run it all. You know, street basketball, as we know, man, New York, Chicago, LA, Miami, those are big street basketball towns, and everybody wanted their tournament in New York in the summer, man, and one thing led to another, and all these tournaments are coming in, and they just needed security for them. And we ended up kind of doing all of them, you know. One of our famous trainers that is out there now, C. Brickley, like he even put that into knowledge, like, hey, man, that's crazy. You guys been doing street basketball for 10 years, but the only people that get acknowledged are the actual players that come in and through it, but not realizing that you were the same guys, the same company that were controlling it and never had an issue. You know what I mean? So leading from that, man, getting along and working with a lot of the athletes that were coming in and out of there, even some of the AAU kids coming in and out of there, the high school kids, you know, ended up keeping contact with them and their families. And next thing you know, man, some of these kids are in the big boy league, and you know their families and themselves, they need protection. And
I'm glad we was able to offer that to them, even consulting, you know, for them and their families, and when they move into a new house and what to look out for, and even going through the process of hiring them their own bodyguard. You know what I mean? And we still keep in contact with them kids to this day. And that's kind of what moved us out of the club, was just there was a bigger world outside the club. You know, and this industry is full of wonderful bodyguards, man, wonderful dudes from all over the world that do the right thing and actually give a shit about their job, man. Because even like the club, like a bodyguard, bro, you know, these guys never know when they're coming home. You know, so when they say goodbye to their families, man, it's for real, you know. And just opening a wide world net, man, that was kind of untouched. And it's only blowing up because these guys out here are doing a great job, man, keeping celebrities alive and athletes alive, and you know, keeping their estate secure. You know, that's why the bodyguards are becoming the biggest thing. And even for insurance purposes, hey, you know what I'm saying, if you got a bodyguard, it cuts down your life insurance. So it's a good thing to have. So I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed with the opportunity, blessed to meet the people I've met and be able to be put in a position like this where I can help others and actually give a shit, because, you know, you kind of mentor these people, you know, when you bodyguard them. You know, you're their uncle, you're their dad, you're their sister, you're their brother, you know, you're their assistant, you're their maid, you're everything, man, because those people need that, man. I'll get you a bottle of water with a cup with ice.
So, you know, that's a beautiful thing, bro. I'm so happy for you. You know, I'm glad that and like you said, bro, it was a stupid club that you at now, you know. So, and I'm gonna tell you something right now, you know. Even though when I met you, you was a piece of shit to the umpires, but you know what? You grew, and you matured, and you know your integrity and your integrity and your professionalism is what got you to where you are now. So I just want to applaud you for that. When did you say?
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
I'm tired of go pick up my check. I want to write some text now. When was that idea born?
So that transition was a little hard, man. Just going through everyday life or whatnot. You know, you kind of going to work the same day, and similar to softball, man, you kind of doing the same thing every day. You're like, man, I know there's more to this. I just got to find out how, you know. And then kind of just taking the steps, bro. You know, learning more about yourself and the business that you're in and what you could do to progress. There wasn't a lot of people to, you know, help me in that aspect. I had a lot of people telling me I couldn't do this and couldn't do that. You can't get a gun license in New York. You can't do this. But, you know, after talking with the state and, you know, filing the necessary paperwork and paying the fees and waiting the time and just keep putting in the work every day, man, I was able to overcome all of that and get it going in 2016. 2015, I started the paperwork. 2016, I opened up my own company. At the same time, I was still working for a small security company. So I ended up just kind of just holding off on it, paying my fees and everything. But out of respect, not running any business under it because I was still with a company. But yeah, just kind of like when we would get into like just coming home from Puerto Rico, kind of opened my eyes and landed like, hey man, you should start doing business on your own so I can have that effect and help more people and do what it is that I want to do. And I'm not stuck to one thing. You know, I can actually venture out and offer my service to anybody that needs it. You know what I mean? And have no limits to it. You know, like, hey, you can use me for a day. You know, you need somebody at your house. We could do that for a day, a week, a month, whatever. You need somebody to travel last minute. Yeah, like we give a shit. You know what I mean? So I think it was more of that, man. Being open to it kind of got me away from the other company. Being able to venture out, spread my wings, and just keep going, bro.
Conversation after Xbox, right? And a couple of my homies, they live in the red states where you can carry a gun. So my boy Hood, his name is we call him Hood. He showed me all these guns and he carries. He makes fun of me and he's like, yeah, you fucking pussy, you can't carry in New York. So you're telling me you can carry in New York? But they're like protocol. Obviously, a protocol.
Obviously, in every state, you know, excuse me, in every state, every city, every county has their own laws, bro. You know what I mean? Excuse me. So New York is one of those strict states, man. So is LA, you know. So you can carry under certain requirements. You know what I mean? CCW is called a concealed weapons carry that are in a lot of states, and some states you actually don't even need a license to carry. So outside of the 5 barrels in New York, you can carry a firearm with the proper license. You know, in the 5 barrels, you'll need to be like one of a few things, which would be like a business carry, meaning you own your own business. Cash revenue is a lot, so you go to and from the bank or whatnot. You can become an armed guard, which is the next level after a security guard for a company. And then also my loophole was, man, owning my own company, and becoming my own gun custodian, and being able to license myself, insure myself, which will end up being I am an armed guard for my company. But now being a gun custodian, I can hire guys with a gun license to join my company. So it's not impossible, and I don't want people to think that it's impossible. You just got to do the paperwork. You got to put in the time, and you got to do what they say on the applications, man. It's not impossible. Shit, unless you got a bad criminal record, then yeah, it's impossible. But if you do the necessary paperwork, you pay the necessary fees, and you do everything the right way, man, nothing's impossible, bro. In New York City, you cannot do that. In New York State, you can do that. Yeah. But Jason's also a fire department. He's FDNY retired, so he also has that HR2X. Yeah, he has that retired carry license for the state. But again, man, every city, every state, they have their different laws, and as much as I say I applaud the Second Amendment and people being able to carry, because it's in those states where you're able to carry that, man, there's actually less bullshit because everybody knows that everybody carries. You know what I mean? And New York turned into what it turned into, man. I would love to be able to see more people carry. But unfortunately, man, it's one of those states that, it withholds you from a lot, man. And even something like that, like you're saying, being able to carry for yourself for personal reasons, or your kids, man. God forbid, you in your own car, man. Look at what's going on these days, That shit can change the aspect, man, where it might slow some of that shit down or necessarily stop it, because, man, somebody they get shot. You know what I mean? And yeah, New York City and even LA County, man, are two of those states and cities, man, that they're really strict, and for their own reason, man. For their own reasons. Gun violence is up. Robbery is up. But there's so many illegal guns on the street, man. It's hard for people to tell the difference. So when people yell out, "Oh, it's easy to own a gun," yeah, shit, yeah, it's easy to own a gun. You can fucking buy a gun anywhere. But to be properly licensed to own a firearm, it's completely different, man. It's a process with its own. Every year, 2 years, depending on the state, you got to renew. Some CCWs, the concealed weapons license, you got to renew every 5 years. Those are paperwork, fingerprints, background checks that you got to go through and pay for, man. So nothing's impossible. Well, not really, because some of the guys, man, some of my guys are still in New York. I hired some of my guys still from New York. I hired law enforcement guys, military guys, and just regular security guys. So moving to Florida actually let me buy a lot more, a lot faster, because shit, there's a gun show here every weekend. I can buy whatever I want because I'm properly licensed. Don't think you can just walk up to the counter and buy a gun. No, if you don't have a license, there's a problem. If you're not a homeowner, there's a problem. They're not gonna let you buy it. Yeah, if you go to a fucking pawn shop or you buy it off the street, of course you can buy it. But yeah, man, even here, the only difference between here and New York, there's no limitation. You can pretty much buy anything, as long as it goes on record that you purchased it, you have the right paperwork, you pay the necessary fees to the state, and you go about it the right way, man. And that's the same pretty much in a lot of states, man. As long as you do the necessary paperwork and the background check and pay the fees, uh, it's not impossible, bro. Hey, those be the toughest guys, man. It's not all about height and body. Don't spill the beer. Yeah. I think it was catching it though. They were catching it. So, man, I think I want to say I was just home, man, just kicking it, you know, like everybody else that got family in Puerto Rico, man, sitting there watching the storm go by, and just, I guess, praying, bro. You know, everything go by, and then, you know, everybody wants to do something. Everybody wants to hop on a flight and do something. And actually, the small security company I was working for at the time, man, the owner calls me up. And he's like, hey, man, here's the call. Like, I need you to go to Puerto Rico on a security contract and start helping out. Shit, me right away, man. I was like, fuck, bro. I'm already packed. I wasn't packed, but I was already packed in my mind. And I was like, of course, man. I was like, hey, I'm down to go. He's like, hey, grab as many guys as you can and head out there. But, you know, I just can't tell you when you're coming back. And I was like, yeah, that's how it started. Yeah, bro. That's how it started, man. And getting into it, we all packed. I want to say, bro, I had one big duffel bag, maybe with like 2 weeks worth of clothes, maybe, just some gear, batteries, flashlights, radios, equipment that we needed, firearm, of course, ammo and all that shit. We love our island, but we know our island. But that's how it started, bro. One thing led into another. We land a day after Maria. We spend the night in Fort Lauderdale. It started off with 25 of us. I brought 5 guys of my own, 6 guys of my own. Papo being one of them, bro. Man, I gave him the call. He jumped on right away. Rodrigo and his brothers did the same, and we ended up going out there, meeting up with another security team, and kind of got the layout then that hey, like we need to restore power back to the antennas and to the island. And it was a beautiful opportunity, bro, to be able to do that and getting the knowledge day by day of just like, hey, this is what we got to do, this, that, and the other. For me, it was like, hey, man, I'm home and I got to do whatever I got to do for my people and even my family that's there. You know, they're 3.5 hours away from where I was staying and where we were based at. But that kind of started it, and it took off from there, man. What ended up being 2 weeks ended up being 2 months, ended up being 3 months, kind of going through the motion, working hand in hand with Sprint, AT&T, with Claro, powering up generators, powering up antennas so people could get their service back, led into guys going out with some linemen, guys to restore the power and the power lines. And, bro, it was a long time. I got to see a lot of communities. I got to help a lot of people. I got to hook up, with two or three different vendors that were giving water and generators, and ended up finding out one of the guys on the job was actually my cousin through marriage. He had a contact for water. So I would, every day after my shift, I would fill up my hotel room with water, with cases of water, and kind of just reach out to everybody on Facebook, and as we could, bro, because we had no service, and telling people like, hey, this is my address, this is my room number. They'll let you in my room, grab some water, grab whatever you need, or we can bring it out to you depending what town we were in. It was difficult. No lie, bro. It was very difficult to see an island that way. See your island that way. See your people that way. People in the street, bro. Online for ice. People in the street, online for water. For me, it felt bad because like we had some clearance paperwork that would get us through the line on the gas stations and get us through the line in BJ's as first responders. And it was kind of hard for me to break the line. You know what I mean? To be like, fuck, man, I all these people live here and I'm going in front of them to get water and food for like our guys. But at the same time, we gave out the water, bro. Like I couldn't go out with cases of water and not see a family need water and not give it to them. Even stop by some of the softball people, man. Stop by some of their relatives' houses and drop off water. And I bought like 10 generators, bro. At least I was damn near spending money I didn't have, just trying to help people, and got to hook up with my sister, go to different communities that were really, really hit, and just help out, man. Just help out when they needed help. Give them a small sign of hope. And for yourself, bro, because we're proud Puerto Ricans, bro. At the end of the day, we could live anywhere and not be on that island, but we're proud Puerto Ricans, and we're gonna do what we can to help our people as much as we can forget about them and not contact them every day. When we step on that island, we know where we're from, and even being in your own home, where you're from. So when you go there, it hit differently. Again, it was very hard emotionally, physically, mentally. 6 months later, I come home and I didn't know what to do with myself, man. For the first month or two, I felt like us leaving, the job wasn't done. Spent a lot of nights crying, bro. Wanted to go back every day. Wanted to go back. Wanted to help more. I feel like a lot more needed to be done. Even till this day, man, there's still people without power, bro. There's still people without water. There's still a lot of people that nobody was able to get to. It's an island, bro. At the end of the day, it's not connected to the United States, so there ain't nobody driving to a 7-Eleven. You feel me? So it was definitely in its own world at that point. And Trump coming in and doing what he did. Man, a lot of people didn't know. We knew a lot of it. We kind of was by the news people and kind of on the political side as well. Once they found out American bodyguards or American contractors were on the island, it was kind of like, hey, we're like guns for hire type thing. But we stuck to what we were doing. We stuck to helping, and I can't thank that group of guys enough, man. Those guys came from all over the world to join that security team and be professional about it and be helpful about it and just actually give a fuck, But Trump's thing, man, it was bad and it was good, man, because unfortunately at that time, if you go to some of my Facebook videos, you're gonna see me actually tell people on my Facebook videos, Trump is not fucking up the island, bro. It was the politics on the island that was fucking up the island. And unfortunately, bro, it took 5 to 6 years for all of that to come out, with water and water being in that warehouse that they found. A lot of that. Yeah, bro, and a lot of people don't even know, man. People in Isla Verde, bro, all that old San Juan, Isla Verde, and all that. Big shout out to Goya and Bacardi, bro. They were the ones powering that whole fucking spot, bro. And people were like, "Oh, we gotta go against Goya. I gotta go against fucking Bacardi." And their power plants were the ones that were lighting up the streets in those areas, bro. that they were able to help with. They can't do the whole island, obviously, but shit, they were able to do something. And going back to Trump and politics, bro, man, there was money sent to Puerto Rico, bro. You know, there was documentation, there was paperwork, there was money sent to Puerto Rico, bro, and unfortunately, it never made it to the people. And other thing is, man, you know, you got FEMA and everything, and big shout out to FEMA and all those foundations, man, because they were giving supplies away. But the problem was that they're not from Puerto Rico, bro. They don't know where to go. And, you know, every day you would hear it on the radio, you would hear it on the TV station of, hey, we need volunteers to get out to these neighborhoods because obviously they don't know where they're going. You know, shipments that were coming into the airport were getting robbed. You know, shipments that were coming in through the shipment yards were on hold. They just didn't have enough hands on deck, man, to get it all off. And, you know, some people on the island protesting delayed that. You know, even delayed our generators that were coming into the island from the States, man. We had to get them. It took us 2 weeks, man, to get them from San Juan to Ponce on a ship. And then we only had 2 days to collect them from Ponce to distribute them to San Juan, Aguadilla, Caguas, Ceiba, bro, Mayagüez, all over the island. And you know as good as I know, those are hours apart, bro. You know, and that's footage and pictures I never released, and I kept them myself, bro, because I didn't want to hurt the island or hurt the people more than what it was already. And man, I got videos of us in a 150 truck convoy, bro, moving generators throughout the whole island in the rain. You know, putting up generators everywhere in the caseríos, bro, in neighborhoods, in the middle of a neighborhood wherever there's an antenna. You know, and I'm glad a lot of good was done after, but it was definitely not enough hands on deck during. And hopefully that's something that will get better and they could change, bro, because I've never seen that island that way since I was a baby. And that hurt coming back home to the United States and knowing you could walk to a 7-Eleven and buy a bottle of water, but a 2-hour flight away, man, people can't even get a cube of ice, bro. Yeah. So even that, man, and I missed this part, but even coming back from Puerto Rico, Natalie, you know, she ended up wanting to do something for Christmas and did a big, huge fundraiser for them with her Spoil Your Brats Give Back. And she called me and she was like, hey, do you want to go back to Puerto Rico? And literally a home for 2.5 weeks, didn't know what to do myself. 3 weeks later, I'm on a plane going back to Puerto Rico, handing out gifts for her, making sure she gets around the island and give everything out that she distribute that she was able to collect. And going into New Orleans recently, man, and this is the second time for New Orleans. For a lot of people that don't know, you know, what happened in New Orleans in the early 2000s, you know, with Hurricane Katrina and all of that. That was devastating, bro, for that place. New Orleans is its own world the same, bro. There's water all over the place, and there's people live everywhere, bro. And that water rose too fast that it's nothing you could do, man. It's almost like a flood in your bathtub that starts overflowing, but by the time you shut off the water, damage is done, bro. And at that point, what can you do but pick up the scraps and try to move forward? But again, man, it was one of those things. I was blessed with an opportunity and a phone call, having the history with some of the guys that were on that contract already from Puerto Rico. Gave me the call, able to come out and help there too. Again, it was a security contract. I don't want nobody to think we were doing it for free. Like we were actually getting paid through FEMA and the government, you know, for those things. So we were making our money, but on the side, we were actually doing our due diligence and our duty and helping out as much as we can physically, mentally, financially, you know, and with whatever supplies we had. We did the same thing in Puerto Rico, man, and just taking case of waters after our shift. And we were doing 16, 18-hour shifts, bro, taking case of waters to whoever we can. And that, bro, 2 batteries for a flashlight went a long way, you know, so it was. So I started my company the year before that. Yeah, my company was set on July of 2016, and Maria hit in September of 2017. Thank you, bro. Yeah, man. Again, man, just like you, I'm not a big spiritual guy or whatnot, man. But I believe everybody has their own connections when it comes to religion and faith and everything. And again, man, just blessed with opportunity after opportunity. It helps, man. It humbles you, and it kind of helps me get through life. I feel like one of my callings of being a bodyguard is to help people. You know what I'm saying? Not only to protect, but to help people and to help as many people as you can. Like, what not? Why not, bro? Like, what do you lose from that? You know what I'm saying? You lose nothing from helping somebody or seeing the same homeless person every day on the corner that you see every day and you give them $1. What's $1 to you right now when you actually have a job and you have the funds, no matter what they're gonna do with it. I always try to do that with I don't and for me it's like the payment back is myself that tomorrow I'm able to do it again. You know what I'm saying? I don't need anything physically or mentally from that person. You know, they want to have a conversation, give them $1 or two, buy them a meal, being able to help out or blessed with an opportunity to do something like that. There's never no payback. You don't need it. And that's when you're doing the right thing. And for me, it's big, bro. Like, why not help who we can while we can? That's one of my biggest motto is that I'm gonna help who I can while I can, and I'm gonna do what I can while I can, because we never know where we're gonna go, bro. And it's a blessing to be able to do that. It's a blessing to be with you on the phone right now, my brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, we actually have a phone, we have a way to communicate. There's people in countries out there that they don't got that shit, bro. So these are some of those small things that we take for granted. I got clothes on my back, a pool behind me, but there's people out there that might need all the water in my pool just to survive. You know what I mean? And that shit gotta humble you. And when you see some of the things that I've seen, bro, like that shit hits different. So I hope everyone can go out there and get that kind of experience and feed into that kind of knowledge of just helping who you can, bro. There's no wrong by it. There's no wrong by it. You know what I'm saying? And it's a blessing from God, bro, for you to be able to be in that place, that person's place at that time, to be able to help them or help anyone. Next for me, man, is getting old, having some kids, getting old, maintaining the business. You know what I mean? It's one thing to be able to open a business. It's another thing to be able to maintain it and keep it. And I've learned that, the guys I met in the business and network through the business that maintaining a business is a very hard thing. So it's going to take up a lot of time and a lot of effort and kind of just take it where it goes. Keep trying to expand, keep trying to network, keep trying to do good, keep trying to inspire people, and eventually pass all this down, man. You know what I mean? Have my company move on where young guys getting in the game, I can pass all this knowledge on and help out. I want to You're right, man. And I want to be able to leave it all, leave it all and leave a positive note on this world, on life, on family, on friends, and be able to like have them pass it on. Me being rich with money, it's not gonna, I can help a lot of people, man, being rich, but passing on a legacy and passing on a profession to more people that want to be in it and network through it and do good in life and be positive about it. It's a big thing and staying alive these days, bro. COVID taught all of us a lesson. And one thing's for sure, man, tomorrow's not promised. So I want to be able just to live a little longer, get old with my friends like you, man, have a beer, have our laughs, have our teeth fall out and laugh about the good old days. Um, but yeah, man, I say my legacy is kind of just staying alive and passing this on and enjoying life, bro. At this point, making money is not everything in the world if you don't have no peace in your heart. You know what I mean? And I think that's where I lie with it. You know, uh, just being alive, bro. No, bro. So it's actually my last name. The hard part is not everybody trying to figure out my first name, but Sosa is my last name. My dad gave it to me. So I stuck by it. It's become his own name. It's become his own brand. People know by me, by it, and yo, I heard about that song recently, bro. And then when you played it, I was like, oh shit! Like everybody's been telling me, bro. I never heard the song. I never heard about it, bro. I had a couple of clients tell me about it. I never heard about it. Oh, I was definitely high. I was like, oh yeah, we gotta go. I gotta download the whole song now. Listen to this shit. Yeah. Ab, thank you, brother. Thank you for having me, man. I hope you get some more guests and continue to do this. And I hope in 5 years, man, I can come back and be on the waiting list and join again. But hey, man, my house is always open to you, my brother. I miss you. I love you. Thank you again, bro, for having me. I appreciate it. And let me know when's the next time. All right, bro.